Привет из Дубая. С вами передача «Голубь мира», где разбираем крутые навыки. Спрашиваем на английском, отвечаем на русском. Подтягивайте язык или смотрите перевод в тайм-кодах. Let's talk about parapsychology and let's start with the definition.
Parapsychology, this is not a real science, but it is thoughts that some people have some extrasensoric senses, and they could, for example, speak with animals, with plants, they could speak with dead, they could ask someone for helps, but this not a person, this is some substance which live in an entire world above us and has a great power. A lot of people were trying to be not themselves, but to be like magicians, and some of them selling ability or chance to speak with someone on the distance or who is unreachable, someone sitting in jail, or maybe who right now laying in coma.
And when it comes to the skill, I do believe there are a couple of skills that might be kind of at least like sound arguable from the like outside when you first approach them, maybe from the scientific point of view. What might be the reason to actually know about the skill or even like try to go in depth and learn more?
Usually this is by some authors which write fictions novel. They populate such things like long distance seeing or long distance hearing, or for example, внушение,
Influence, would
influence
say
by,
influence.
by mental influence, or pyrokinese, force to вызвать огонь, to set a fire.
Ignite.
To ignite the fire, yes. And also some people are trying to put some part of wires or part of tree to find, for example, place where water could be in desert. Or for example, some people are trying with to be blind with hands to find some disease in the body of someone and take it out by special movements.
And humanity seems to be have like a thousand of the years of the history, but still I do believe it was not like a sanctified whether it's really possible for human or not. Obviously it seems like there are like exceptions out of the human nature, but like why it happens so that like we still not can get like a total 100% evidence, or maybe I think you probably would call it like a falsification that is not really possible.
Yes, you're right. The right was is falsification. If you are a scientist, you should understand scientific methods. It would be also we'll create a video on this topic, which we would call scientific methods. Scientific methods require that your experiment with the same description could be conducted on any place or almost any place on Earth, and it would give the same results. But these so-called magicians, they are trying to say that science doesn't cover all the kinds of knowledge, and something is laying beyond these borders. For example, telepathy, to understand someone without saying a words. And for example, when you live for a long time in the same flat with somebody, sometimes you will say the same words at the same time, and you will laugh both or three person because you like have the same guess. But this is not a telepathy. This is just coincidence. Or for example, poltergeist. I don't know, is such a word in English? Poltergeist.
Poltergeist.
Yes, in Russian, in Ukrainian fairy tales, it is like some force which will move subjects, make some noise in the houses, and so on. And there is a lot of stories about this, and also a lot of films. Several days ago, I was reading a book, if I am not mistaken, in maybe tomorrow, it would be my review in Instagram. It is about how to write a screenplay. Suddenly, I found a very interesting thoughts I never think about, that usually we are not expect from cinema something usual. We think that Hollywood will show us something out of the borders of normality. If we will think or see that just normal people, we will see it not not very attentive, because it's just a life. It's business as usual. It's like everyday show. But if you will give this people some kind of ability, you will sit still, because you will never know how it will end. I don't know, is there such a movie like X-Men?
There is a movie like this.
This is about some people with very strange abilities, and it is about parapsychology.
Well, I do believe sometimes you actually need to keep people intrigued and amused so that you actually can control them, or maybe like prove your point. But when it comes to interacting with the people who claim to have like a parapsychology, or maybe even more important, there might be let's say your potential customers who do trust those people. So how do you should build a relationship with them?
Maxim, I don't know how to tell you this, and do not laugh loud. When I was on Borneo, or Sabah Island, as people call themselves, I was asked if it is possible to give a massage on my foot. And suddenly, a very old man in the 5-star hotel, nice looking and very pleasant, was trying to make me massage, and he was putting some fingers on my foot and saying, you have such a disease, you have such a disease. And when he was putting these dots, it was really painful. And after, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes, it was the same movement, but it was no pain. I was laughing, and then I told to my wife, let's make an experiment. I will not tell you nothing, but let's make a test. First, I will put my finger on some dots, and it was random dots, because I don't know too much about this. And then I was making some massage, and after 10 minutes, I was asked her if she feels the same pain on these dots. And suddenly she told not. Maybe it is because of blood circulation. Maybe it is because you are distressed, or something else. But all these people use very easy tricks. For example, if you would be in India, there are a lot of people who would try to clean up your ears. They will come with just small, I don't know how to say it in English. In Russian, it's turunda, small stick with some part of cotton on ends. You will use to clean your ears. How it is called?
Probably some sort of like a cleaning stick, but there is no specific.
Okay, clean stick. So Indian man will come to you with a stick, and will make some movements, and suddenly he will put out of your ear a long white worm. For sure, it was not in your ear. It was hidden in between his some fingers. But a lot of Indians believe that some worms live in their ears, and it is necessary to clean ears with such magicians at least once a week.
I didn't got this case, but like after attending such a specialist, I ended up going to the doctor because I actually became a deaf on one ear, and he said, like, okay, someone actually put like everything together, so I actually had to go through it to make sure that your ear is actually clean. So I do believe at a certain point of time there should be logic prevailing to whatever superstitious stuff. Now, when it comes to mistakes, when we, like, because sometimes I do believe we might be in the state when we do want to believe someone just, like to at least to have to prove our point. So how do we should deal with this? Or maybe we can see someone else is actually falling for this. How should we deal in that case?
As a scientist, I would love to believe that some of these cases are true, and I deeply wait that some will say yes, it is truly accepted. But we should understand that physics is much greater science than this parapsychology. For example, some people, when they lie in coma, they have some close to death переживания.
Emotions, feelings.
Emotions, yes, and they saying about light hole which is guided them to the God and something like this. And it was like several years ago I was reading a book why several like for example 20 years ago story about инопланетяне.
Aliens
were so popular because if you will sleep and someone will wake you up, but you're, for example, drunk or very tired, you will not open your eyes in wide manner, and you will see through the small, how to say it, щелку,
Holes.
small holes. And if you will try to make this, every person will look to you as alien. Another example, if you have an iron, which are used to iron your t-shirts, you could make photo yourself in iron, and you will see that you're in this shape of iron leg, I don't know how to say, основа, iron base,
Probably, like back,
iron
bottom.
body, bottom. Yes, you will find that your picture is very different from your usual view, and you will be looking like an alien. So some reflections, for example, in water, some reflections on iron bottom will create you as an alien. And if you read too many science fiction books, so-called yellow books, yes?
Yellow papers.
Yellow papers, yellow papers. You will see what you want to see, not what like in reality.
Somehow it reminds me the phrase that you said earlier, like if you don't know chemistry or physics, your world will be full of magic. And my last question will be how knowing about parapsychology would help to make this world a better place.
A lot of people who will sit on your back, on your neck, and put the legs in front of you, and you will gladly pay if, for example, they will say you are guilty. This person is died, and he is asking that you should give some answers, and you will sometimes think maybe I should make it. Another way, some people, when they have tough times, they think maybe it is time to go to put candle in the church, to light candle in the church. Yes.
Yes,
Поставить
light candle.
свечку. To light candle in the church. But it is very strange to think that the God will help to someone who just light the candle. It is very low impact for the God. So when we lose our hope, any person who would say that there is a safe exit will be our savior, and we will believe in this person.
Иногда лучше использовать здравый смысл, даже в самые темные времена. А мы рассмотрели навык парапсихология и чем он полезен именно вам. Всем мира!